President Omar al-Bashir has been speaking out about the challenges facing his country. In 2 weeks, he should hear from the U.S. on whether it will lift sanctions on Khartoum. President Bashir says the measures have hurt ordinary Sudanese the most. From Khartoum, CGTN's Peninah Karibe has the story.
The event was a summit about regional security. But for President Omar al-Bashir, it was a platform to promote Sudan as a country that plays a growing role in international affairs, that it's a partner for peace, and that it's time America lifted the sanctions it imposed 20 years ago.
But unfortunately, it has hit the nation and it has made the people to suffer largely in providing life's needs, basic requirements for its life. And the country has endeavored a lot of efforts for trying to curtailing these negative impacts and enabling the national economy for having positive growth.
America imposed the sanctions after accusing Sudan of supporting terrorism. Relations have thawed of late. Sudan is now seen by some as an ally in the war on terror. Just this past week, Sudan came off a U.S. travel ban list, and there's growing optimism the U.S. will finally lift the sanctions when the decision is announced 12th October. President Bashir also spoke on his peace efforts in Sudan.
This initiative of the national dialogue and then getting all the political farce with all seriousness and effectiveness and efficiency has drawn a real. This has led that the security situation of Sudan has been extended throughout the country, especially in Darfur states, where the efforts of enhancing peace in this region has sort of the gradual withdrawal of UNAMID forces.
He's also trying to mediate south of the border, where civil war has been raging since late 2013.
And I would like here to affirm through this conference that we will spare no efforts in giving all the assistance support for our refugees from our neighbor country, South Sudan.
President Omar al-Bashir made a persuasive case here. The question now is, has he done enough to convince his counterpart at the White House? Peninah Karibe, CGTN in Khartoum, Sudan.
Well, let's get more details on that now. Peninah has been keeping tabs on developments there. She's joining me on the line from Khartoum. Peninah, Sudan is anticipating the U.S. will lift the sanctions imposed on it. So what steps has it taken to win Washington's confidence?
Well, there's a number of reasons that the president of Sudan, Omar al-Bashir, has given today. Chief among them is what he said has been a deliberate effort to reconcile all the communities here in Sudan, I should say. The reason why Darfur is so much of my time is because he really did talk about Darfur and said that they did have a national dialogue that brought together not just the political parties, but as well the warring factions there in Darfur. And he said as a result of that, they now have what he called a national government, a government that involves even the rebel movement in Darfur. And this was very critical for Sudan because it was upon that the U.S. slapped those down back in 1997 and continued to keep them in place because it said the Sudan government is not committed to stabilizing Darfur and it did commit human rights violations. That's according to the successive U.S. administration. But then beyond that, President Bashir also talked about the effort Sudan is making to promote peace and stability in the continent. And he gave an example of South Sudan, which was passionately about it, saying he will waste no effort and he will spare no effort as well to make sure that they have a stable South Sudan peace.
Well, at Peninah, Khartoum is also hosting the meeting of the Committee of Intelligence and Security Services of Africa. So what were the major issues that emerged from that meeting?
There are a number of issues because this was a forum that brought together not just governments but private sector, religious groups, and as well the intelligence and security groups and the civil society. And the reason being, they say today that it was the collective effort that would stabilize the continent, not just a responsibility to the political class. And what emerged from today's conversation is terrorism as the single biggest threat to the continent. We did hear from the African Union saying how numerous groups are going to the Middle East, getting radicalized, and then coming back to the continent to conduct violent attacks. And two major issues emerged when it comes to curbing terrorism. Number one, the African Union talked about the challenge of controlling or regulating social media. And number two, the issue of funding. And the African Union was saying this shouldn't really be an African problem. It should also be the responsibility of other international organizations as well as the international community, because they said terrorism knows no borders. So then we had a commitment as well from the EU talking about working towards silencing gangs by the year 2020 and also curbing all sources of funds for terrorism. So really, those were the issues that emerged from this conference.
All right, Peninah Karibe on the line there from Khartoum.